John, thanks for joining Trots TV for another edition of the CEO's blog. There was an announcement of the New South Wales representatives for the upcoming Australasian Young Drivers Championship as well as the Australian Drivers Championship.
Yeah, two very important events on the calendar, especially for the drivers across Australia. In the seniors, in the Drivers' Championship, which actually leads on eventually to possibly a shot at the World Driving Championships, which will next be held in, I think, Sweden. So this is important, and our two representatives are Amanda Turnbull, the leading driver in the state, and Chris Geary. So well done to those two. They've earned their trip to Hobart on October 28. They will miss out on the awards night, unfortunately, but still. Duty calls, and duty is to drive races, and win that championship for New South Wales.
Okay, and the Australasian Young Drivers Championship?
Well, Chris Geary, he represents New South Wales in that championship in December in Brisbane. So well done, Chris. He's got both to go along with. But, of course, New South Wales is admirably represented by Todd McCarthy, the defending champion. So it'll be New South Wales in Hobart, it'll be New South Wales, of course, in Brisbane, and it'll be all New South Wales, as it should be.
Yeah, well, hopefully the title stays with New South Wales, particularly with the Australasian young drivers. Now, and how is this determined, just so people know how these representatives are selected?
Well, it's pretty black and white. It's whoever wins the premierships. The junior driver with the most drives for the season, winning drives for the season, is the selected person. And with the senior drivers, though, it is simply the leading driver is selected, and whether it's male or female, the leading driver is, and then the other person is the leading driver of the opposite gender. So Amanda was the leading driver, Chris was the leading driver for the boys. So that's the way we do it. There's no discretion on behalf of the board or management of Harness Racing New South Wales. It's just black and white, and that's the best way to make it. So it is a real challenge and a championship to win the state title, and then of course they have to go on and meet all the others from around Australia, and some very good drivers, of course.
Yeah, I think in one of the state titles, New South Wales has only won it 3 times since 1976. So hopefully the guys can change that. You've just come back from Tamworth. What have the updates have we got from there?
Oh yes, we went up to Tamworth. The executive team went up to Tamworth just to speak to the club, speak to the trainers who are on course there, and just tell them what the progress is. Progress seems sometimes to be very slow. We've got some goals in line, we've made those announcements, but we've got a lot of authorities to work through. So anybody up there in Tamworth that thinks that things aren't happening there at that track, they are happening. They're getting good race meetings week after week, but the projects that we've put in place are certainly being dealt with as time goes by. And as far as the trainers on course, well, we'll keep providing for them a facility for which they can work their horses from, and the end goal there is really to increase the number of horses stabled on Paceway Tamworth and training on that track.
How many are currently stabled on the track?
We have about 20 horses on the track. There are 180 stalls there, reasonably good stalls, but part of one of the projects is that we do some tidying up in that respect, improve the lighting, improve the drainage around that part of the track and the building. So yeah, it'll all happen. And as far as the other part, the part that's more involved with the Tamworth Harness Racing Club, we've got an officials pod that's about to go to council for a DA. We've got a roof over the stables that's about to go to council for DA. But these things just take time, and they take planning, because you don't want to make mistakes, and mistakes can happen if you rush. Okay,
well, let's talk about planning. Where are we at with Wagga?
Well, not wanting to rush. There's no rushing water in Wagga, because we're dealing with Water New South Wales, and the delays that we're suffering are really frustrating. We're waiting for one final assessment of a report, an unnecessary report as far as Harness Racing New South Wales and the Wagga Council are concerned. But Water New South Wales, they've got plenty on their minds at the moment and issues to face. But this is one issue for us that we've been dealing with for now far too long, 12 months. We hope to get an answer this week, but we've hoped to get an answer for several weeks past. So Wagga is on the agenda. Wagga will be built. The track in the Wagga City will be built, but it's just we have to mark time at the moment, which is extremely frustrating for all concerned.
Most definitely. Okay, well, let's talk about the Evolution Series. The inaugural edition started this month, and we've got the final at Tabcorp Park Menangle this Saturday night.
Yes, September's always a tough month for 3-year-olds, but what we've been able to do, and we're very proud of this, and the work that was done by the Breeders' Association, of course, the HIRIC, in putting things together, the clubs, everyone's got behind the Evolution Series. So we have a final this Saturday night at Tabcorp Park Menangle, $20,000 race, a nice collection of horses. Hopefully the field of 10 stand and we see a great race, but it was unfortunate 2 of the heats weren't conducted during the month, and we're looking at whether we can tinker with how horses qualify for this race, because it's unfortunate that if a race, people have set horses for races in areas and there aren't enough, that those horses that have been kept purposely in racing don't get that opportunity. So the board and management and others will look at that and see what we can do. But yeah, Kevin and Kay Seymour Evolution Series final, it's on this week, $20,000 as I say, and well done to everyone that was behind it and everybody that's in it.
Yeah, and there's some great prize money being thrown there. So anything else for this week's edition of CEO's Block?
No, Amanda, we'll save it for next week.
All right, we'll look forward to it.
Thank you.